What is the big reasons for struggle in relationships or causes of divorce that you're seeing lately? I know kind of historically what that is. Is it more financial burden? Is it more, is there infidelity or people wanting more to like sneak around? Is it a lack of intimacy? Is it family dynamics of the other families? What is the main cause of friction in relationships or marriages today?
I think if I'm looking at symptoms, it's going to be money and infidelity.
Really?
Some scale of infidelity. Yeah. Some version of.
And people are calling in and telling you about this
They're
stuff,
telling me
right?
wild stuff, yeah. Underneath it, I think it's a broader picture. Terry Real talks about this beautifully. The world changed, and men just want things to go back to the way they were, and women want men to do new things without a new set of tools.
Give me an example.
And so you've got
how's the world changing for men and women today in relationships that you're hearing about?
I watched it in my house. It growing up. I'll give you this a good example. So my dad's a homicide detective. He's a bad dude. He's a smart man. He's very fair and very kind, and also a good guy. But he's also right a lot. You don't win arguments with a hostage negotiator.
He's got a good.
He's
He
good.
knows how to build a case. He can build the evidence around a case.
So my mom grew up in this culture that Christian women had no business going to college. You have a job and a role, and this is it. At 41 or 42, she went back and took her first, and she didn't go back, took her first community college class.
Wow.
And my dad, everybody had been supporting her. You should go. She finally did it. Then the next semester, she took another one. And then she had one professor say, "You're real smart." No one ever said that. She went again. At 57, she graduated with her PhD. At 63, she got tenured at a university. And this past summer at 70 something, did her last summer at Oxford. Okay?
Holy cow.
So it's this wild back half
That's
of her
awesome.
life. But in my house, in real time, I watched somebody who hadn't gone to college, who didn't know she had a voice, who was reading this literature for the first time and being like, "Hey, wait a minute. I think you're wrong. And
I have an opinion. Here's my belief. Here's my value."
And I think I'm right. Well, that changed the dynamic of our home, right? And my dad is a super forward-thinking guy. He's like, "Okay, I know you're smart, but this feels like this way." And Texas homicide detectives don't have feelings, right?
No, right.
And so it was them learning together. They've been married 50-something years, and I got a ringside seats to, "You better learn some new tools, man." Because she's in a world where her voice matters now. She's in a world, and think of this, in 1970 when my mom got married, she was not allowed to get a mortgage without my dad's signature. She couldn't get a bank account without my dad's signature. We think that was 1,000 years ago. That's my mom. And so to grow up in a world where you got to go have your husband sign for you to get a checking account, to all of a sudden you're teaching at Oxford and you're in London by yourself in your 70s, that's a big arc. And it's easy to go, yeah, I should just be that way. There's a lot of relationship, like, okay, I so badly want to love you right now. I don't know how. I'm out of tools. The tools I have were from the old era when I had to show up and sign for you. Can we learn together?
Wow.
Right? And there's a humility there, and there's an empathy there, and let's figure it out. And so I think in a world now where we expect everybody to be everything. You're a co-earner, you're a co-parent, you're a co-manager,
co-lover.
You got to be beautiful until you're 90 because we're going to be sexually active until we're 1,000 years old. You got to be. We have to believe the exact same things about this whole list of things.
That's a lot.
Nobody can carry that.
That's a lot,
right? And so the world shifts. And so, if we can always remember, us comes first. What does that mean? That means sometimes I tell my wife, I don't know if I believe this anymore. I don't know if I believe this particular thing about our faith tradition. And she doesn't go. She goes, "Man, tell me more about that." And she asks me in a month, "Hey, what do you think about that? Like, have you been reading on that? I read this book because you told me about that and I want to walk with you. I read this book. Have you read? Let's invite this couple over because they're real smart and they think this way too. Let's hear what they have to say." That's a different path because it's about us. It's not about being right. It's not about me, not about my discomfort. It's about us. If you can keep that in mind.
That's big. When people change their beliefs in a relationship around politics, money, religion, parenting, family, whatever these things are, does that hurt a lot of relationships long term when you had the similar beliefs when you first got together the first few years, but 5, 10, 15 years down the line, we've got some different beliefs that we don't believe anymore. Can you still make a relationship or marriage work with a lot of different beliefs?
Yeah, we confuse values and beliefs.
What's the difference?
Values are what we anchor into. This is who we are. We value everybody's welcome at our table, period. We value curiosity. I just read this thing and this is wild. Let's figure that out. We value community. What we value, we believe in fill in the blank. We value faith. Why in the world would you read a book if you weren't open to having your beliefs changed? That's why you read. That's why you listen to this podcast, because you believed that cupcakes were the best food for you. And then you get a diet expert on here and they're like, that's going to kill you. And you go, my beliefs are different. My values of I want to live a healthy life and be a good steward of my body. We both value that. Cool. We were both told that endless amounts of cardio is the best way to be healthy. We value being a good steward of our body. Hey, I learned a new belief. We got to do squats now. Oh my gosh.
Interesting.
And so I think couples don't make enough space for, I want my wife's beliefs to change. I want mine to change. Our values, that's where you get when I don't value hospitality anymore. Now we got to sit down and figure that out. I don't value family like I did. We need to talk about that. And so if couples say, here's who we're going to be. Let's put that on a wall in the house. Boom, we're going to anchor into this. And then our beliefs, man, I hope those change over time. If I still believed what I believed when I was 18, God help us all, man.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Why do you think this is fascinating? I really like this concept of values over beliefs and really allowing your beliefs to be flexible or open-minded beliefs. But it sounds like a lot more stronger foundation of values, but loose but flexible beliefs. Is that what I'm hearing you say? Is like be open-minded to your beliefs being shifted or evolving.
Yeah, I saw this in a way that was really transcendent during COVID. So I grew up the last 20 years, my professional life, I grew up, if you will, in the university setting. So I don't remember who it was. I think it was King's College. I'm going to make it up. COVID kicks off and bam, we think, making up a number, we think 35 million people are going to die. Every scientist I knew, and most of the scientists I didn't know, there were epidemiologists, that were modelers, that were virologists. They said, awesome, game on. And they go to their model with their data and the new data and the new data. And then within a couple of weeks, someone goes, boom, we think it's 12 million. And the scientific community cheers. We're less wrong. We are 35 minus 12 million people safer. Hooray. And I had just left the university and gone to a media company. And I was exposed to that whole ecosystem. And I realized politicians and many media outlets don't have oh, thank God we were wrong. Thank God. We've got new information now.
No.
If you state it, you got to die on it. If you put a belief out there, it's the end of time. You've etched it in concrete. The value should be, we're going to find the right answer. We value truth. I believe this is true today. If I get some new information tomorrow, I should come out with trumpets.
Yeah.
Dude, we got new information.
Interesting.
Because we value truth. We don't value being right. We don't value being first.
Wow.
That's a big difference. And so now, there's problems in the scientific community. There's a lot of people sold out. There's issues. But by and large, the picture was when you do a scientific study, you reject the null, right? Like, I want to be less wrong. I want to find out if I'm wrong or not. Not, I will go to the ends of the earth to make sure you know I was right, even when I'm wrong, right?
Wow.
What a different world that is. It's a different way of approaching the world. So I celebrate literally when my wife comes in and goes, hey, I just have been praying over this. I've read something new. I sat with a counselor the last 4 months. I think I believe this right now. The homeostasis of our home isn't threatened by that. In fact, it's celebrated because we are building us. If you're anxious, it often means your body's working perfectly. It's letting you know, I've identified something in the ecosystem or a number of things that you're not safe, you're not okay. And in our culture, we're so uncomfortable with that alarm system that we race up, we climb up